This is Valley News Live at noon.
Local breaking news at noon. A coach at Fargo South High School was fired for inappropriate communication with a student. The district says Fabrice Nolan was let go on Monday. A whistleblower tells us the basketball coach sent an inappropriate message to a girl at the school. The district wouldn't comment any further on the situation. A check of the North Dakota Activities Association website shows Nolan is also listed as an assistant football coach at the school, and we have since filed an open records request to investigate the incident. And to national breaking news, an associate justice of the Supreme Court will resign. Stephen Breyer is retiring at the end of his term, allowing President Biden to nominate his successor. New for you at noon, Fargo City Commissioner Tony Gehrig will not be running for re-election after 7 years in the post. A press release from the city says Gehrig wanted to spend more time with his family and focus on the remaining 4 years of his military career. Gehrig also says he looks forward to staying involved and may return to public service again in the future. Wind is going to be an issue on this first alert weather day, which can lead to problems on the road. Let's go to meteorologist Lisa Green with a first look at your weather. Lisa?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, we've had a tough morning in some areas with that south wind, and the camera's still shaking here in Grand Forks. We're getting a nice clear sky view here as we're looking a little bit farther to the north. It's not the case everywhere. In the Thief River Falls area north of town, you can see Highway 59 here. There's some drifts across the road surface, and in the distance, our visibility dropping quite a bit there. And another open area, Minnesota Highway 9. This is the Beltrami area. You can see the snow drifting across the road, and we do not see where that road goes because of that reduced visibility and blowing snow. So these are a couple of areas where you may be running into some trouble, especially out in those open spots in the country. Here's a look at our road conditions around the region. In North Dakota, we've got a lot of places in the eastern part of the state where we're dealing with some snow on the road. Some areas in purple here in that hatched yellow area, or hatched purple area rather. That means that we do have some areas of snow on the road. So the drifting that we just saw in some of those DOT cams. There's also a travel alert for northeastern North Dakota stretching down into Barnes County in the Valley City area. So some areas where we're dealing with some conditions that aren't so nice out there this afternoon. And similar situation in Minnesota. A lot of blue on the map indicating partially covered roads in and around Grand Forks, back over toward Thief River Falls where we were just looking. The Fargo-Moorhead area just to the east, seeing that. And along Highway 10 here, this pink area means completely covered roads. So this is basically from Detroit Lakes and east toward the Clay County line. So there are some places that are having a little more trouble than others. Some of us reporting good visibility. In Fargo, we've got a 10 mile per hour or mile visibility report. And then there are spots where we're below a mile. Langdon at 3/4 of a mile visibility. We're at a mile in Thief River Falls and a 1.25 miles in Gwinner. Some of these areas have been having trouble throughout the morning with that south wind. So this is going to be an issue heading into the afternoon, though some of us are starting to see some changes and a little bit of the break in the wind. You can see Fargo, Grand Forks, more into the teens for wind speeds. But notice what's happening here out to the west, starting to turn westerly, and eventually the cold front will move through, and that's going to kick up more wind. But not just that, we're also going to see some spotty flakes. So for that afternoon and evening drive, be ready for more wind increasing yet again with the cold front moving through. Slick roads, low visibility yet again. So we're going to talk more about that coming up in your hour-by-hour planner. It's been a nice warm-up with this wind. We'll have details on just how warm we are and where we're going today in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Lisa. One person is in the hospital after a massive house fire in South Fargo. Valley News Team's JC Dodd has been out there for at least 6 hours monitoring the situation. JC, what do you know?
And it is still very active 6 hours later. Fire crews, several engines are still here going in and out of the house trying to monitor the situation. Now I'm going to step to the side so you can get a look at this damage that we've been looking at. This is in the 1400 block of 2nd Avenue South in Fargo. The home address is 1418. They just posted that orange sign that says danger. We have not gotten any information onto why that sign was posted, but crews are in and out. You can see right here they're pumping water out of the house. Now I want to walk you through what happened this morning. Anna, we got on scene around 5:20, about 10 minutes after the call came in. And there was smoke just filling this neighborhood. I have never seen so much smoke in my life, how much smoke was coming out. Now we know the fire started in the back of the house. That's why the front, you can see some soot, but not as much damage, but it started in the back. And when we got here around 5:40, we saw Fire crews pulled someone out of the house, and we saw what looked like they were performing life-saving measures, CPR, chest compressions on the sidewalk before shortly taking them in a stretcher. That he or she were taken to a hospital, the victim. Their condition is unknown at this time. We don't know if there was anyone else in the house. They're still searching through. We have been getting comments and talked to neighbors saying that it was an elderly couple that lived in this house, but we do not know if we've only seen one person pulled out. We have not seen another one. Now, Anna, I'm going to stay on scene, continue to bring you the latest. We have no damage estimates, but it's still very, very active for now.
All right, thanks so much for staying out there, JC. I know it's pretty cold today. We'll share any updates we get on our website at valleynewslive.com and on our app. We're learning more information on a shop fire near Rothsay, Minnesota overnight. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department says the shop is a total loss. These are pictures from the scene along County Highway 11 last night. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department says when a crews arrived, flames were shooting from the building and the shop is now destroyed. No one was hurt in the fire and the cause is still under investigation. Farmers are planning ahead to spring, and it looks like more expensive as inflation hits a 4-decade high and consumer prices soar. One example, fertilizers have nearly tripled in price. Like most everything else, supply chain issues are impacting the ag industry, and that has some farmers buying their fertilizers months in advance just to secure it for the upcoming season. One producer says some good news is that commodity selling prices are also higher, but that could change. Enough product, just not enough drivers. That's put dozens of North Dakota schools at risk of losing milk deliveries. Critical labor issues are prompting an emergency order from Governor Doug Burgum designed to ease a shortage of truck drivers to deliver milk to schools, businesses, and other customers. The order waives hours of service requirements for drivers for 30 days. Which follows a decision by the state's Milk Marketing Board to waive enforcement of certain licensing requirements until April 1st. The measure comes after a major milk distributor in North Dakota went out of business, in part because of lack of certified drivers, and that put more than 50 school districts at risk of losing milk deliveries. The state ag commissioner is also spearheading an effort to recruit truck drivers who have allowed their commercial driver's licenses to expire. North Dakota has lost 3,000 certified drivers since 2017. Coming up at noon, fans and a minor league hockey team set a record that's unbearably cute. But next, Lisa will be back to tell us how long this wind will stick around.